Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. I wanted to make a video and talk about a couple of rifles that I'm going to do some deer hunting with. And what makes these rifles special is nothing really, but there's many folks in the United States that may think that these rifles are evil and that the public should not have access to rifles like these. Of course, I wholeheartedly disagree. Some of the things I look for in a good hunting rifle is depending upon what kind of hunting I'm going to be doing. If it's deer hunting, am I going to be hunting a farmer's field, or am I going to be backpack hunting up in the mountains somewhere, or something in between, right? We have a lot of thick woods here in the southeastern United States. And both of these rifles, I think, will perform admirably well in the conditions that I'm going to be using them for, and it's going to be for white-tailed deer and for black bear. Okay, so let's take a look at the rifles. First rifle is the SIG 5.56R, and that's chambered in the Russian 7.62 by 39. Now, interestingly, I've had it recently, last 2-3 weeks, whatever, I've had several people send me PMs asking about this specific rifle and the video that I had done on it quite a while back, probably a year ago, maybe longer, maybe 2 years ago. At any rate, they were asking me how the rifle was doing because there's some videos on YouTube and there's probably some posts on forums somewhere talking about this rifle having some issues. Now, I don't know if I was lucky and got a good one, or they fixed the issue before I bought this rifle, but at any rate, the rifle has been 100% reliable. I don't have anything to report as far as that goes. I've not had any sort of issue that you can have with a semi-automatic with this rifle. Now, when the first video came out, I had a very limited amount of ammunition that I've ran through that, but since then, I've had the opportunity to shoot this quite a bit, and shooting cheap ammo and expensive ammo and everything in between, this rifle has worked well. Now, one thing that you have to consider for a hunting rifle is accuracy. Now, I know accuracy is a subjective subject, okay? It's, if you shoot at nothing but steel, as long as you're hitting the steel, you consider your gun accurate, right? But I have a completely different background, and my background is bullseye shooting, okay? And long-range rifle matches, 1,000-yard matches, is what I have the most experience with when it comes to competition. And that type of shooting, you're trying to make the smallest group possible, right, at whatever given distance that you're shooting at. And I think that plays well when you consider a hunting rifle, all right? Now, hunting rifles don't have to be match accurate, but you want them to be very accurate. You want them to be good, accurate rifles. What you'll find when you spend time in the woods in your hunting game is that there's a lot of variables that come along when you're hunting, and you want every advantage that you can get in order to make a good, clean kill. And an accurate rifle is a good place to start. Okay, the accuracy for this rifle is good. It's not match grade by any means. When you put some good ammunition in there, it performs fairly well. I think I mentioned in the first video, or at least I should have mentioned in the first video, that at that time, what this gun shot the best was Corbine DPX Hunter. And that's it. That's an expensive round. It was expensive then. I can't imagine what it's like today. But I have found some other rounds that do a pretty good job. And as long as I can keep the group inside of 2 inches, like 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, 5-shot group, I feel very comfortable that the rifle has a good hunting accuracy. Okay. So this rifle may look evil, but it's a handy little rifle to carry in the woods. Hunting here in the southeastern United States, as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of thick woods. And to be honest with you, barring hunting off of a farmer's field or something of that nature, or a meadow up in the mountains, most of my hunting is in sort of thick woods where shots under 100 yards are the norm. Taking shots longer than 100 yards is abnormal. Okay, So this rifle with the ballistics of the 7.62 by 39 is very adequate for that. Now I know some of you folks are thinking that, man, my AK or my SKS, I can shoot folks at 600-800 yards. Now that may be true, but what we're talking about here is ethical hunting, okay? And that's quite different than some sort of apocalypse or whatever. This isn't a survival situation. This is hunting, and you want to make a good shot. And when you look at ballistics of this round, it's very similar to the 30-30 Winchester, a very popular round here in the United States. And when you consider that, then you obviously come to the conclusion that it's about a 200-yard and less rifle for deer and bear-sized game. Okay. So with that said, the scope that I have on this is the same scope that I had on. I've never taken it off, and this is a Burris Full Field 2, and it is a 1 3/4 to 5 power, I think. Yes, 1 3/4 to 5 power. And considering the distance that I'll be using the rifle for, I think it's a pretty good match to the rifle and to the cartridge that it shoots. All right, next rifle is one that I have made a video about earlier. This happens to be another SIG. This is the SIG 716, and it is chambered in .308 Winchester, 7.62 NATO. Very popular hunting round, okay? Now, this is another military round that was adopted by us civilians, and we have enjoyed it very much in the hunting field. This is an AR-10 type of a rifle. I'm not going to go through a lot of the details. I've already done that in the video. But I will say that I have added a scope to it, and this mount is probably not going to be the permanent mount for it, but it's a mount that I had. This is a Burris mount, and it's a quick disconnect mount. As you can see, you got the little thumb screw things here. But I really don't take into account the quick release part of this mount. I want it to be a good solid mount, so I usually crank those nuts down pretty good. The scope that I have on this is a Leupold, and it is a 3x9. It's a compact scope, and the objective lens I think is 32 millimeters, and I might be wrong about that. It's kind of an older scope. I've had it over 15, 18 years, something of that nature. It's been quite a while. At any rate, it's a good scope, and I think it's a pretty good fit for this rifle, and it looks good on the rifle, and it ought to be a good combination for hunting. Now, as far as dependability and accuracy goes, this is another rifle that I have been very fortunate that I've had no reliability issues whatsoever. It's proving to be a pretty accurate rifle when you feed it some good ammo. Now, I know that match grade ammo was the best that this thing shot, and I think that was Black Hills 168 grain Sierra Match King hollow points. And but that's not what I'm hunting with. I'm hunting with 150 grain Winchester ballistic silver tips with this rifle. It groups them very well. It shoots them very well. And it's a very good hunting round for what I intend to hunt with. Now again, folks, I know people may say you don't need 20 rounds, you don't need 30 rounds, and I have smaller magazines that I carry with the rifles for, for no other reason than I can, you know. But these rifles have good accuracy, they have good dependability, and they have all the characteristics that you look for in a good hunting rifle. And so I like to use rifles like this. I like for people to see rifles like this in the hunting woods, so they see that there is another purpose to them other than just what they think they see on TV, right? Well, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And remember to shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.